Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, how are you all this Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, if it's definitely your time? I'm Judy. I'm one of the expert tutors here at E2 Language. Sunday afternoon, what does that mean? Writing for nurses, yes. Now, hopefully, for lots of you, this is going to be your last class. Hang on a second, I've done it again. Wait a second. Just got to, there we go. Just go back what I was doing. There we go. Just do it again. So, a little bit of a glitch there, but we made it in the end. Sorry about that, everybody. So, let me just say good morning to some people. Well, there's Rachel. Good morning to you from the UK. Katharina Afoe. Wow, some new people. Marilena, I'm going to say hi. Brincy, hello to you, my darling, this morning or this afternoon. Hope if it's wherever you are that the weather's really lovely and warm. It's a bit cool here, but it's sunny, so I'm okay. That's all I can. It's inside, I can't see it. Oh, whoever, Hina, it has started, or now it's started, perhaps before it hadn't. And there shouldn't be any problems with the sound, everybody. Baristo, lovely to have you with you. Justine, good evening. There we go. We've got people all times of the day. Joanna, good morning. Thank you. Well, yes, just a bit of a change, isn't it? You know, it's sort of wintry, but with the summer, you feel like wearing, not with the sun, I feel like wearing a little bit brighter things. Oh no, poor old Maya. She's in the Philippines. She's just said that her exam has been moved to the 11th of July. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hopefully, I think by now, those people who are booked this Saturday, it's going to go ahead. Fingers crossed. Chris, lovely to have you with us today. There we are, Hina. Hi. I can hear you now. That's great. That's what Mia, lovely to have you with us. And Jenny, good morning. Judy and everyone. Yes, if you want to communicate with other people, you just put all panelists and attendees, because there's only one panelist and that's me. So if you send a message and you want to send it to lots of people, it's only going to go to me. But if you want to share things, chat with other students, look for speaking partners or study partners, guys, you can do it all here. This is it. It's a hub. Wing, good morning. Kalyani, lovely to have you with us today. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Ali. Oh, it is cold in Melbourne. I heard the bad news in Melbourne, Wing. Poor old Melbourne. They've got stricter restrictions again after a bit of an outbreak there. Hope it doesn't last long. Celeste A. This will be recorded, of course, A. Definitely. Shushmita, Adium, Adman, lovely to have you. Monica, Mohammed, Aung, lovely. Oh, good afternoon to you from Yangon, whatever you call it. Mohammed Amal, wow. There you are. So A is looking for a speaking partner. A, put all panelists and attendees on your Zoom chat, and you can share your email address. I would also put your time, you know, your time, let's say, you know, the time where you are. Your time zone, sorry, lost the plot there. Your time zone. I think it's important to get someone sort of in a near time zone. I think it would work better. Jacqueline, good morning. Lovely to have you with us. Sheila, Rosca, and Alaba. Hi, everybody. I'm going to stop there. I wanted to welcome all our viewers on YouTube too. Lots and lots of people watching today from YouTube. Don't forget, you can join E2 Language for free and watch the free classes. There's one a day. But otherwise, you know, there's lots of different things you can do as members of E2 Language too. You can buy packages and things like that eventually, but everybody is welcome. Well, Grace, hello to you. Look, lots of people, that's right, are swapping things. Now, that's what I wanted to hear. A's looking for it. Good. So let's get going. Yes, it's our writing class. Now, I don't know how this is going, everybody. As I said, I've done mine. Put your 20-second worth in. We're going to make a fantastic collection of people's ideas of, you know, about firstly where you're located, but more importantly, how E2 language or E2 makes you feel connected. In which way? We're really looking to find out how it makes a difference to your preparation and your feeling of being a member of a school, basically, a worldwide campus. That's what we are. So get it in. Now, as far as writing feedbacks go, we have our writing intensive package where you get 2 writing feedbacks. Now, it's different to say some of the other ones that you can do, you know, you can buy online, because it is very OET specific. All right. Samantha and I both correct those feedbacks as the assessments also. What's interesting about them, we're not just picking up on your grammar. There are lots and lots of other criteria that need to be taken into consideration. You might write a letter that is grammatically perfect, but you're off the topic. You've you've used irrelevant information of this. Every type of issue can be. So don't focus just on your grammar. Your grammar does play a role because it helps with the understanding of the information. But as far as the full package of criteria, we look into every single one. So it's quite an accurate, let's say, score. And then you get the report and you get the corrections that you need to make. Okay. So package of 2 in the writing intensive. We've got, of course, another great way of studying, extra than live classes, of course, are the one-on-one tutorials. So you get 45 minutes with, you know, teacher like me, for example, and we will focus on what is important for you. Each tutorial comes with an assessment. So if you've got a package like gold one, we've got 3 tutorials, you're going to have 3 writing assessments. And it's important to do your writing assessment before you book your tutorial. And then in the tutorial, we can discuss your writing in a little bit more detail than just a written submission of score. We can also, of course, practice speaking. We can discuss any issues you have with reading or listening. It's really, really great. I mean, it says here, ask questions and you get the answers. So one-to-one, it's worth it, you know. And within any packaging for the tutorials, you get the mini mock test included. Now, you can buy it separately, of course. Now, that is what it says. It's exactly like the exam. It's a little bit shorter. We've only got 1 speaking task, but it's a great way to really understand your speaking and the criteria behind the speaking, because it's not just speaking fluently. There are a number of things that many students don't take into consideration, and although they speak well, might fail because of that. So it's so important you get the writing feedback again with all the different criteria covered, and it's got listening and reading tasks too. So great way for preparation. Okay, now lots of chat going on here, and that's all between the 2 of you. As long as it's not for me, I'm happy not to see it. Good, everybody. So now let's have a quick look about our class today. A little bit different. We're going to test our English with a quiz, but different sort of English. We're going to learn a method for completing the writing task. We're going to analyze the task, of course, select the relevant case notes for our situation and the person we're going to write to. We're going to plan our writing. We're going to write the address and all of that standard start of the letter. Today, we're going to focus on the request paragraph. Now, there are quite a few requests in this letter, and so that's why we're just focusing on that final, very important request paragraph. We're going to then look at the model letter that's been written, and then a bit of a quick, let's say, criteria check and another little quiz to finish off. Now, hopefully you've got a pen and paper handy for the quiz. Today we're going to focus on phrasal verbs. Now, the funny thing about phrasal verbs is they are only acceptable, let's say, in E2, in OET, in your speaking. So you might be familiar with some of these, so it's good to know what the more formal verb is. So bring up is to mention. Okay, you can also bring up children, okay, which is raise. Call off, cancel. Then we've got put off, which is postpone. Yeah, okay, so they always go together. Call on, so if you want to visit someone, become conscious, came to reduce, cut down on. So if you're going to complete a form, you have to fill out the form. Discover, you can find out. Survive with, which means to get by on something. Yeah. So to get rid of, which means to lose, to go over. You're writing or something, you need to be reviewing it. Then we've got things like visiting, investigate, to look into. This is a good one, to examine or to check. We wouldn't use look over, we would use these words. To understand or hear, if someone's talking to you. Again, useful in your speaking, but you've got to avoid them in your writing. So we've got there the pass out. So we've got come to and pass out. All right, so here you lose consciousness or faint, and you come to is you become conscious again. So to point out, if someone calls attention to something, all right, to postpone, we did that one. To peruse or to check your reading, your writing before you finish, you know. Then we've got here to arrange something, arrive, be responsible for, to write notes, to take down, remove, take off, discuss, to talk over, to test, just to try out, reject, to turn down, use completely, to use up, and to exercise, to work out. All right, so there's various things there that we would only use the right side, the formal ones. Now we've got here, after passing out due to severe dehydration, the man's wife stayed with him until the ambulance showed up. All right, I prefer working out on an empty stomach because it helps me get rid of the fat faster. We've got some there. Let's see how we can put that without the phrasal verb. So after fainting, we could put after losing consciousness due to severe dehydration, the man's wife stayed with him until the ambulance arrived. And I prefer exercising on an empty stomach because it helps me lose the fat faster. Okay, so that's just how it should be. And these ones are the ones we can use in our speaking. Okay, now, a lot that's all coming on. Good, just making sure that, yes, you can make a group. The better connected you are, the better your results are going to be. Definitely. There's power in numbers, everybody. Good. Now, let's have a quick test. You've only got 30 seconds. So, anyway, I'm going to open the chat box. If anybody would like to look, lots of people there. Philip, Cassie, lovely to have you with us today. And let's have a go, though, guys, for a second. Let's concentrate on what we're doing. We've got the phrasal verbs, go through, deal with, cut back on. Figure out, get back to. Now, which option would you choose? Good on you, Jacqueline. Good one. All right. Adman, great. Yes, Rosca, thank you for that. Doesn't take very long, does it? How's everybody else going? Anyone last minute? Okay, that's it. Time is up. So let's have a look. So we've got the answer. I'll put the answers down here. To go through. So you go through, let's say, a bad time, or which means to experience. Okay, to difficult times. To deal with is to resolve. So to deal with some problems, to resolve them. To cut back on, like your alcohol consumption, cigarettes, to reduce it. Figure out, to find a solution, and get back to, of course, is to return. All right, so we're looking for the formal words the whole time. So here is, we've got 5, what do you call those things? Sentences, and you've got the experience, return, resolve, reduce, find a solution. A minute to do it. Looking forward to seeing as many as possible. Rosca, that's lovely. Oh, the minute. Yes. My little Matilda is sleeping opposite me. Hopefully she doesn't start meowing in the middle of the class asking for food. She's sleeping at the moment. Yes. Well done, everybody. Good. Someone said about the computer-based test. Yes, people are doing it this week, most of them. But anybody, Alaba, who is doing the computer test will also be doing on Saturday the live test. Then, you know, it's going to take at least a month or so for all the results to be to come out, because what they want to do is they want to compare the results of the computer test with the results of the students who did it on paper. So there's quite a lot of work. I mean, I wouldn't really hold your breath. Probably I can see it. I might be at August, but I'm probably more certain and more, let's say, more likely to be as late as September. So look, everybody's done a fantastic job. Good on you, everybody. Thank you very much. Elizabeth, Joanna, thank you. Good. Well done, Philip. There we go. Carmel, I hope you find your partner. Now yes, and Omnea, lovely. Now, the dietitian suggested that I reduce saturated fats. Okay, so we have cut back on, reduce. Following a heart attack, you need at least 4 weeks rest before you can return to work. The chemist gave me some pills that should resolve my constipation. Even after 3 visits to the GP, she couldn't find a solution to what was wrong with me. We need that too. A bone marrow transplant is not something I would want anyone else to go through, to experience. Okay, so we often use it really probably in more often probably in a sort of a negative way, or something that's pretty uncomfortable, I would say. Great, everybody. Thanks, Sheila, very, very much. Good. Now let's start our writing. What are we going to do? What are we supposed to be doing? How can we get the results as well as we want, as good as we want? We need to read and analyze that task in those 5 minutes. Then we need to read also and analyze the case notes. Then after the 5 minutes, we can write our letter of referral or discharge or transfer. It's one of those three. Now, the reading. Sorry about that. The reading, yes. We need to read the task and we determine who we're going to be writing to and what action they should take. Very important. You can get quite a bit of an idea from the task box. Then we need to read the case notes. We need to understand the key facts about the condition that we're dealing with. For me, to deal with that better, it's also important to read, let's say, the discharge plan or the management plan. So you've got even better understanding of those key facts. Okay, and then we identify the relevant information and decide if it's highly relevant or quite relevant. It's all going to depend, isn't it? Then we've got the plan we need to make. Should take, yeah, up to 5 minutes. Now, a good letter is going to have at least 5 paragraphs with the, you know, with the introduction and the preface. I wouldn't ever go lower than that. We've got the introduction, which is our purpose paragraph. We've got the main issue, secondary issue, other details, and then 5th, the request. Okay, so, but you can even have 6 or even 7 if it's necessary. The thing is for your letter to be easily read and understood. So we don't want big masses of writing where the reader's going to sort of panic. Okay, we're going to write carefully. Each paragraph has one main idea. Then we've got usually 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes to look over it. Okay, to review it, to peruse it, as we should be more formal today. So the reading, who are we writing to? That plays such an important role, and it's going to play an important role not only for what we want them to do, but also things like, do they understand the abbreviations that perhaps are common to people who are working where I work? Things like that. So it's very important. What action we want them to take, what key information they need, and what prior knowledge, if any, they have. Then we read the case notes to determine what is relevant, what is repeated more than once. So we need to group that together, and what is not relevant. Now, here is our task, everybody. And we ask, who am I writing to? What action do I want the reader to take? What does the reader need to know? And does the reader know anything? All right. Now, 1 minute. Okay, everybody, how did it all go? I've got quite a few things. Very nice wing, beautiful. Glory, lovely to have you with us today. There we are. So, thank you, Alaba. Yes, Mia. All right, social worker. That's interesting. Yes, good. All right. So, good. Now, who are we writing to? We've got a social worker, or okay, to the social worker, yes. And we've got her name down here, Miss Megan Sims. So she's a social worker, which is quite interesting because they're not medical people. And this is where we've got to be a little bit careful. We're interested in different aspects of care. What action do I want the reader to take? Well, to, let's say, ongoing care and support for our patient. What does the reader need to know? Well, what are the needs of our patient? And does the reader know anything already about her? Absolutely no. She hasn't. Well, we don't know, but because it's not mentioned, we presume that they haven't had any contact with them before. So, first time. Now, we've got to work out which things are relevant and how important they are and how they affect your mark. You see, 7 marks. Out of those 7, a lot of that content criteria is about the key information is included, that no important details are missing. Yes, that reader needs to know what is important for them as background, as requests. It needs to be there. And also, if your letter might be long, but not necessarily, the fact that you might have included irrelevant information. All right, so this is really important. We've got to focus on the relevancy of everything here. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to have a go at it. I think the time is starting. Yes, I will open the chat line, so look forward to getting some feedback from everybody. So how's it all going, everybody? Lots and lots of feedback. Fantastic. Yes. Alrighty. Apart from all the social networking that's going on. Interesting, everybody. Lots and lots of details. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Anne. Hina, good. Definitely, Hina, that's true. Glory. Great. Now, if people are chatting amongst themselves, don't forget the people you're writing to, and you must have the all panelists and attendees. Otherwise, they won't be able to see your messages. Okay, I can see them all, but if you want to share them with other members of the class, yes, please make sure that you've got the all attendees. Juice, what the appetite is fair? Oh, fair appetite means, well, not too good and not too bad, average. Fair like that means average. Okay, so good, lovely. All right, now let's get going. Everybody's done a sterling job, very, very good job. Thank you, everybody, for working so hard. I'm going to put them all up together because we haven't got many repeated things. So we've got the name, of course, and the age of our gentleman. Just mention, because don't forget, we're writing to that social worker. So anything that focuses on their social aspects, let's say, is important for our reader this time. The fact that he's got one son but they have limited contact. Now, we need to start the story of why they came to the ward, what happened to Mr. Scott, and the fact that he's fallen and that he was intoxicated. He does live in the retirement home, but he's probably not getting the support he needs. He says he's self-reliant, he has his own vehicle, goes grocery shopping and things. So all those social things are really important for our person. What's her name? Miss Sims, that's right. A little bit about his medical history. They don't know, they know about medical history, of course. I mean, standard things, of course, like that. They need to know lots and lots of details. But those things are, important in the whole reason why we're contacting them. As far as the medical progress, well, again, we're focusing on his mobility. We're focusing on other, let's say, personal issues like the incontinence. About his eating, appetite is fair. Okay, so it's average. All right. But now because he's got a very high BMI, he wants to focus on eating healthy food. Okay. And also to reduce his alcohol consumption. There we go. So our discharge plan, this is what we're going to deal with today, that he needs home care. All right. He needs professional counseling for the alcohol. For the meals, Meals on Wheels is a good idea. So it's a delivery service. So he's getting a good balanced diet. And also there's the idea about a possible referral to a dietitian. Okay, he needs to get his life under control in a way, doesn't it? It's a bit of a wake-up call for him. Now, let's have a look. What we talk about, and each time, is that we need to be flexible in our writing. Every time the situation is different. Sometimes the way we organize our letters are different. The phrases we use. So be flexible, everybody. So we're going to do that last one. So to plan and our writing, we're going to firstly work on our address. From what I've seen, most people have improved incredibly with that. A couple of ones that are wrong. We're going to work on our notes and our plan, how many paragraphs we're going to need and what's going to go into each one. And then we're going to write our letter, but always remember the relevance and the importance of the person we're writing to. Okay, and then those few minutes at the end, you need to check your work. So here we've got our task. Here we've got the outline for the address, etc. So we have our title and full name. What I wanted to point out was in English, you always get the first name before the family name. All right, I know in many countries it's the other way round. And if the names are unfamiliar to you and you don't know whether it's the the first name or the surname or the family name, that's how it will be. So always the family name comes second. Okay, it will never be the other way around. All right, so here we put the full name of the recipient, their job title, the address. If you've got the name of a clinic or a hospital, it goes on the first line. Then we put the date, which of course is the date of the test. And then we've got re. Now this can go there or it can go after, wherever you fancy. Patient's title and their full name, either the age that you're given, or if you're given the date of birth, you use that. Then we've got dear, but just the title and the family name. And then at the end here we have the yours sincerely, nothing more, nothing less, and a comma. Sorry. So here's our task. We've got Mr. Ronald Scott is our person, and he is 72 years old. So we use that. We don't have a date of birth. We don't need one. It is irrelevant in our case. Yeah, you're right, Rosca. Rosca's said here, I don't think a person who is using the walker is capable of driving their own car. I wonder if it's one of those mobility scooters. Okay, it doesn't say what. Most probably, I presume he would have a mobility scooter whizzing around. However, he might be using that just for his, improve his balance. But I would presume that is, yeah. Good. Oh, I didn't open the chat line. I meant to. Oh, yes, I've got it there. So anybody who would like to add some, I've got quite a few people already that have had a go. You can put it on. Thank you, Sheila. Lovely. And Rosca looks fantastic, everybody. It's so sad if you make a mistake on that. If you've got it right, you start off with a good, a good impression. Jenny, there was just one comma on 99 Beacon Road. You will see commas on the address because it's written across, but on the address, on the letter, of course, it's going to, we don't need any punctuation at all. Good. We can scroll down and see all the other ones. Well, that's a good start anyway. And thank you very much. Well, Grace, there we are. Apriya, thank you. Looking really good. Yes, you could have aged 72. Yes. So Joanna just asked me, could you explain the difference between 72-year-old and 72 years old? Now, as all of you know, should know, in English, any adjectives are always just one word. They don't take a plural, so they never change. So when we use a 72-year-old, we would need to have a subject like man, a 72-year-old woman. But when we're just using the age, they're 72 years old, right? So the 72-year-old, the 6-month-old, the 2-day-old baby should all have a subject, a noun after them. Okay, here what we're talking about, the right one, of course, is 72 years old. All right, or you can just write aged 72, as I've seen a lot of people do. So well done. Really seen a huge improvement on that section. So here we've got Miss Megan Sims, social worker, 99 Beacon Road, Newport. We've got the date. It can be like that. It can be with numbers, so 22/05/2019. Here we put a colon up and down there. Mr. Ronald Scott, comma, 72 years old, or aged 72. Dear Miss Sims, comma, yours sincerely, always take a comma and charge nurse. So good on you, everybody. Now, let's carry on. We need to plan and check the case notes. I mean, while doing that, we've got to think about how many paragraphs, and that works with your plan. You might be making your plan and think, you know, I think I need an extra paragraph. Put it in. It all depends on how many separate issues, subjects you want to have, or you're going to have. And you need to think about how many paragraphs and what's going to go into each one. So we've got our request where we express our appreciation and we restate what we want the recipient to do. By restating it, of course, we did mention it in our purpose paragraph, but here we're going to develop it. Our introduction, our purpose paragraph, it's in much more, let's say, brief, really, I would say, more summarized. So 90 seconds to think. From all that, I'm going to open the chat line. An article needs a subject. If it's an article needs a subject. Glory has written. Not quite sure. So Joanna, Mr. Smith, a 72-old man. Yes, but you wouldn't put the comma after the old. If you, or Mrs. Smith is 72 years old. Nice one. Okay. So A, yes, 72 years old. Thanks, Joanna. Good. So 90 seconds, and just open it again. And I want to find out what information would you choose for the request paragraph. It's pretty obvious, actually, in this one. Pretty obvious, because where it is. So Marilena, you can write with a pencil or a pen, and you are allowed to use spare paper before writing. Definitely, you need to write your plan. In fact, Anne, the discharge, you need to write your plan. That's what is important on that piece of paper. You are expected to do that on the thing. Another thing you can do is sort of practice creating sentences. You know, sometimes I see people in their writing and I think, well, what you've written, you could have combined it better. So don't ever think about writing the whole letter and then rewriting it. No, that is crazy. But if you've got quite a bit of information, especially in your main or your secondary paragraph, and you want to work out how to combine it, which things can go together to be effective and concise, then you can use that. So if you're making if you're using a pencil and you make a mistake, you can use an eraser. Of course, you can bring one with you. You're not going to use the 2B pencil. You're going to use an HB pencil. So not the 2B that you use for your reading or listening. But if you've made a mistake with a pen, just put one line through it. Don't worry. Okay. If the worst comes to the worst and you want to sort of add something, you can always even put an arrow to the bottom. Okay, we're talking about the worst comes to the worst. Okay. Or wing. Now, that's the best answer I've had. No, definitely not. Two separate people mark each letter and they do not know the previous person, what they have done. They are all highly trained and prepared for that particular task. Yeah, so feel confident, but it's all done by hand using all the different criteria. If you want to find that criteria, well, firstly, you can do a writing task, an assessment with E2 language. You will see all the criteria there analyzed and marked one by one, or you can see them on the OET webpage, of course. There we go. So, part B and C of reading and listening are marked by computer directly, and then A of listening and A of reading is first hand marked, and then the results are put together with the other things. So we've got our notes now. Lots of people got it right. It's what is in that discharge plan. What do we want them to do? What do we want our social worker to do? Arrange home care twice a week, 3 hours, to assist in household chores and bathing. You need to be specific here. He doesn't need cooking. Professional counselling for alcohol dependency. Meals on Wheels, the meal delivery service, and a possible referral to a dietitian about nutrition education. And just adding that he's very intent on healthy eating. So let's have a go. Kindly, this is how we can start. I would be grateful if you could do something. I would appreciate if you could do something. Either of those are great. Please, kindly. Yeah, I often use those after the longer, more, let's say, official, I would be grateful. And if we've got other things we need to add, we can use the kindly, we can use the please. Okay, so they're quite handy, those short words. Okay, good. So here we've got all the notes and it's your, whoopsie. They say 7 minutes. I think it's a bit long. I'm going to go for 5. I think it's going to be more than enough, everybody. So I'm looking, I've got what happened to it? It just disappeared. There we go. All ready to go, everybody. So 5 minutes of that. I've got the chat line. Now, get it in early because there's going to be a lot of people. that are going to be taking part, and I probably won't be able to read everybody's. You know, it is a live class and it's a free live class. Just to remind you, any more detailed feedback and help, just book a tutorial, you know, and then you can we will look at it word by word, thinking about how we can improve it, which things are fine, which things are wrong, which things are okay, but can be improved. And I think most of you are at that stage. Okay, so that's the brilliant thing about, you know, okay, how to book a tutorial. You just go onto your student page, and there is the button there that says add. I can't remember now. Okay. No, the tutorials are on the E2 language on your student portal. So where you know, book your live classes, there you can find and book anything else you need. Oh, Kina, yes. Now, not a personal aid. That spelling of the word aid means something completely different. It's something to do with, let's say, an international negotiations and things like that. So it's personal aid if you want, but no E. And whoopsie. Sorry, everybody. Okay. She deter his alcohol habits. Not really, because that's not what it deter means something else, you know, to change. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, it's all right. Yeah. Ahmed, you can use numbers or twice a week for 3 hours. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. On Maya, good. Okay, we need a little bit more with that one. So, yes, she, you can use a number 3 if you like. Yeah, let's keep going. Nice, good one, wing. Because of his intention on healthy eating. That's, you can't really say that, wing, because of his intention to eat healthy. A meal delivery service is to be arranged, and a referral for a revision may be necessary. Now, wing is to be arranged. It's a little bit tough. All right. If you use that type of language, it's like ordering someone to do something. Now, we're not ordering anyone, we are requesting. So be careful. I wouldn't use that is to be, okay? Unless you're telling someone about something that is going to happen. Good, she. Love, Admin. Good one, Admin. And I would be grateful if you could. Sounds much better. Okay, not for a healthy eating and for healthy eating. Okay, all right. Fantastic. Roscoe. Yes, and again, that one here, Roscoe. Please note, counselling for alcohol dependence, it needs to be provided. Again, you know, you're not really requesting there. Do you understand? We are requesting. So please, please provide counseling for his alcohol dependency. Okay. All right. So we're not telling them what to do. We're asking them. Okay, it's a bit long, Philip. It's a bit long. So you've got to be careful for the rest of your writing. Well, not for 2 weeks, Ramona. Twice a week, 3 hours. Yeah. Joanna, yes, be careful. Advisable is with an S, and this, the delivered is a little bit spelling there. You've got a few issues. Not bad, Jenny. Okay, so, yes. So, Joanna, if you use that in addition, you wouldn't make a new sentence, all right? Because you don't have a new verb, all right? So because it belongs to the household chores and bathing, in addition, so not a new sentence. Okay. Just quickly swimming through the last ones. Okay. Help, help, help. I would be grateful. No, I would greatly. It would. Yes, someone got the Abdel Hamid. I would be greatly something. You've missed out a word there. You could arrange a fixed visit. Try to whip through. Okay, good start. That's a good one, Mariola. Good. All right, everybody. Very impressed. Not bad at all. Just some small changes needed. Okay. And remember, it is the request, so we're not that. Now let's see what we've got here. They just started off with a very simple please. Please arrange home care for Mr. Scott twice a week for 3 hours per visit in order to assist him with bathing and household chores. We need to be specific there. In addition, kindly arrange professional guidance to help him overcome his alcohol dependence. He's committed to changing his dietary habits, so it would be beneficial to arrange a Meals on Wheels service for him, as well as referring him to a dietitian if required. Okay, we've got it all in. Everybody has done a very good job. Now, let's read the whole letter to our social worker. We just started off with, thank you for seeing Mr. Scott. We could say, I'm writing to refer Mr. Scott, who requires your ongoing care and support for following a fall at his retirement home. Remember, Mr. Scott was admitted with a suspected head injury and possible concussion. We're telling her the story. He was monitored overnight and given appropriate treatment. She doesn't need to know the treatment. Please note that he was inebriated at the time of his admission. Okay, or he was drunk. You can put inebriated a little bit more refined. Now, the story of Mr. Scott. He lives independently at Newport Retirement Home, ambulating independently with the help of a walker and driving his own vehicle to run errands. They put it in that way. However, he has a BMI of 50.7. So here we've got all the negative things. You see how I said to you, it's a good idea sometimes to get that paragraph and to jiggle it a little bit to make sure you've got, let's say in this case, all the positive things first, and then with the introduction of the however, we can put the negative things, edema cellulitis in his lower legs and venous status, as well as hypertension, hypercholesterol, and he also has occasional incontinence of bowel and bladder. Okay, a whole lot together. Social things. Mr. Scott has an adult son with whom he has limited contact and admits to consuming 8 to 10 alcohol units per day. Very important when we talk about these things all the time. We need to know the details. We can't say he's a heavy drinker. We know he was drunk or inebriated at the time of admission, but we need to know those details. 8 to 10 alcohol units per day. All right, don't judge him, don't categorize him. We need to know the details. And then we've got the final. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you require any further information. Yours sincerely, charge nurse, who you are, of course. Look what it says who you are. Now, take a photo, everybody. You can have a go at doing it yourself. Use the case notes. You can check. This is when you go back and look at the recorded version. Look at the recorded version without looking at the letter. Have a go at writing it yourself. It's a great way, and you've got instant gratification because you've got the answer there. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but you can see. Yes, Anne says, can I combine household chores and bathing as activities of daily living? I think they are specific about that. All right. Because we've got the household chores, and specifically what we want is that bathing because of his cellulitis in the legs. So that's why, Anne, we put it separately. Activities of daily living is too generic in this case. All right. We don't have to put a dot, no, Denicia. If you want to put a dot, we don't in English or in Australian English, we don't put a dot. If you feel more comfortable with a dot, you can put it. Of course, you could put that. Yes, I just think they put it onto that Mr. Scott has an adult son paragraph, just because, well, what else can you put there? It's a little bit difficult. So they just made that extra paragraph with two, let's say, social aspects of this man. All right, because when you think about it's not an illness. We've got all the other things, the the hypertension, etc. It's just his social lifestyle. So that's probably why they. You could put either Ali. Ali said, "Is it better to write meal delivery service?" Now, the difference between Meals on Wheels and Meals Delivery Service is that meal delivery service is a generic one. Meals on Wheels is a specific thing in the UK, in Australia, probably elsewhere, that is run by a charity. Okay, whereas there's a lot of meal delivery services which are not Meals on Wheels. So they're not a non-for-profit service. So you can put that definitely. Either is absolutely fine. Oh, that's great, Rosca. Lovely to hear that. Yes, Philip, exactly. But I'll just pop back. Someone wants to see the full case notes again. There we are. They're the ones colored. So remember, if you want to test yourself, go back to the beginning when they're all in black and work through step by step. Okay, not today, not tomorrow, but perhaps before the exam, if you're going to take it on Saturday, think, oh, I've got that one, I'm just going to do it again, without looking at those things until I've chosen them. And then using the chosen ones, you can compare it to what we've got here, then write the letter and go from there. Make your plan, write the letter. You can do a reenactment like of what we've done, but also preparing for the day. and then you've got a sample letter to compare your information with. Good. Now we're just going to quickly pop back to that polite language thingy. Now here we've got contractions, which of course are not used in formal writing. Remember, we need to have the verbs in full. If you want to take a photo, you can see them all. All right, there's millions of them. Sheila wasn't feeling well, so she didn't attend the clinic. Okay, visitors shouldn't have too much noise on the ward, because it isn't very respectful. So Sheila was not feeling well, so she did not attend the clinic. Visitors should not make too much noise because it is not very respectful. Just be careful, especially that last paragraph. Many people forget. And please don't hesitate. Many people forget that one and do that. It's funny. So just be a little bit, that's something you can do when you check. Why make the mistake when it's not necessary, Here's some other slang which we don't use, and really, I'm not even going to be bothered. Mr. Brown reckons the new medication is the bee's knees, so it's the best available. You may find that your knee feels kind of swollen when walking, but you will get over it. So Mr. Brown believes the new medication is the best available. Okay, you may find that your knee feels somewhat swollen, but you will recover, get over it, recover. Okay. So let's have a bit of a go. Now, this is quite interesting about the organization. This is the request paragraph. Okay, I know we've sort of done it already. I'm going to give you not even 90 seconds. I think everybody can do that in a couple of seconds. But I'm going to give you 90 seconds while I read the rest of the things. So she said, if writing to a social worker, it is not necessary that after the first paragraph, social background should be next. But as I said, look, we don't really have much social background that's worrying us in this case. You see, it was just that line, his alcohol problem, and the other line about his son. But if there was, and you had a situation, and there was a lot more social background, yes, you might want to put it next. Okay, it depends on how it flows. Okay, we've got the issue why he came into hospital, and then we focused on all the medical issues he has. Okay, so they're aware of it. This letter, we have that very little social history, but then we've got the big request paragraph. Oh, we didn't flip the clock. Oh, stupid thing. Okay. Of course you can, Uni. You can write social history and other medical details, definitely in separate paragraphs. Do not be wondered. You see the paragraph we had there, one line. So it doesn't even have to be more than one sentence. If you feel it that it's a separate issue, put it separately. Oh, yes. Thanks, everybody. Good job. I've seen a couple of things. So, of course, everybody knows we're going to start with, I would be grateful if you could arrange home care for Mr. Scott. Okay, next one. In addition, okay, so we're going this way. Please arrange professional guidance to help him overcome his alcohol dependence. He is committed to changing his dietary habits, so it would be beneficial to arrange a Meals on Wheels service. Yes, I suppose what we've done here is also prioritize the importance, let's say, of, and that's something we need to do. So we've got the home care definitely comes first. Okay, he's got a bit of an issue with his alcohol, so that's probably, but of course he does have, even if you put DNA the other way round, it wouldn't be a problem, believe me. It's how you see it. And then we've got that final sentence, which is definitely a separate paragraph. It's not the same one. Okay, good. Now, just a few things here. Okay, I haven't added our blog. I usually put in the blog address, the E2 language blog. Go to it. It's just blog at E2 language. There are some very interesting articles all about every aspect of OET. And then you can click on writing, speaking, and get some very interesting articles and tips. So well worth doing. That's the information on the OET website about the writing information. Don't forget, they've got the preparation portal on E2 OET. So go to the OET website, preparation portal. You've got reading tasks, listening tasks, new writing tasks, and the very, very useful YouTube video of Rebecca going through the newest writing task they have. We've got all of our videos, very useful, on E2 Language YouTube channel, and you can see all those things, but you can see it also on your here. They will all be there, and you can see each video. I was just having a quick look here. That's where it says recorded classes, but I haven't got the whole thing. Student online, no, about someone who wanted to know how to book the tutorials, but it's very basic, guys, very, very basic. So make sure, if you've got a moment in the next few days, it's up till the end of the month to get your 20-second video in. Make sure, if you got the mini mock test, that you get it done as early as possible this week. Get your writing tasks in, get your speaking booked. We're available, all of us, to do those mini mock test speaking. It's very, very useful. It's an eye opener for many people. Okay, so don't be overconfident, think I can speak, I know. The thing is, you need to speak in the way that the OET wants you to. All right, and that's the important thing, and we will pick that out for you. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I must say, I really good. What synonym can we use to replace arrange? Arrange a meeting. Organize a meeting. That's about all I can think of at the moment. You stop me there. Wing. Yeah. You could just go on Google and say synonym for arrange, and you might find one. Don't go to anything extreme. Yeah. So everybody's got their groups going. I'm so excited. Yes, there we go. There we go. So anybody who hasn't done their 20-second thing, see, I've joined a group which came through the live writing class. So I'm going to wish you all a wonderful Sunday for those who are in Sunday morning. Good afternoon, good evening for the rest of us. And for all the people that joined us on YouTube today, it's been wonderful having you too. Please, sign up at E2 Language. Have a look. There's absolutely no obligation to do anything more than that. But we're here for you. And it does, I'm sure, make a huge difference to the results you're going to get in your exam. Just the way you're going to feel when you go in to take that test. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to, hopefully have lots of, extra information that's going to help you. But even if you just take it psychologically, you're going to go in and you're going to feel much better for it all. Okay, well, next Wednesday, the last speaking for lots of you. It's about 1 hour earlier than today. And then Friday, well, I'll be doing writing for nurses. Anybody who's not taking the exam, see you next Sunday for a writing class. Okay, everybody. And thanks for all your lovely, lovely compliments. And oh, Yasser, nice to have you there. Good. I'm going to stop it. So many messages. Just hopefully you've got contact details, guys. All right. Bye-bye, everybody, and have a wonderful